welcome to Nation Innovation. Today we will be discussing on deep learning, where this word deep learning have been coined and what are its the building blocks of deep learning. So deep learning is a branch of machine learning. It's a subset of machine learning, just like many algorithms we used to do in machine learning to detect and to train our data and to test our data. Similarly, it is one kind of algorithm, it's one kind of pattern which generally is inspired from artificial neural network, ANN, right? It works on how the human brains used to transfer data from one part of our body to the other. Similarly, here also we follow the same architecture. So the basic building block of deep learning is Perceptron, and it was coined in 1958 by Frank Rosenblatt, a scientist. He coined the term perceptron. It's the basic building block of the deep learning. These perceptrons are clubbed together in a certain arrangement in such a way that they perform a specific task for classification, for doing in various types of computational power, various types of computations, and etc. etc. So previously we have seen that our perceptron, which is the basic building block of deep learning, is actually inspired by biological human neuron. For example, this is our brain neuron. So dendrites are there to acting as just like inputs, right? Your synapses is there to communicate between two dendrites. For example, this dendrite comes for communication. Axon is there just like your activation function. Whatever the information is there, it activates and it transfers, and synapse helps in transferring to communicate between two dendrites. And nucleus is there to process it. Whatever the information we are getting it, nucleus will process it. So nucleus, dendrite, synapse and axon, these all are available in perceptron also. So perceptron is just will resemble same structure, but here dendrite said as input, synapse will be said as activation function. So we will see how these terms are correlated in perceptron form. Okay, so here we can see that it is an artificial neuron. It's on whiteboard. So x1 to xn are your inputs. For example, you have image, for example 3 cross 3, 9, so there will be total 9 pixels. So accordingly 9 pixels will be arranged. And for example, there we have a word called 2, 3, so there will be certain pixel values which needed to be high. So we have weights associated with these, right? So these weights will become high, and accordingly that input which is corresponding to that weight will become high. So these weights will come to this processing unit, which is termed as neuron, which we will see later. So processing unit, so it is actually the summation. WI is actually a summation. WI means representing the weights and XI represents the input term. So combining this, we get the function, right? We get the function, and accordingly the output is transferred. So here we can see that ANN versus biological neuron has been drawn in this whiteboard. Here x1, x2, x3 to xn are just your inputs and w1 associated with this. So these two together will form the dendrites. Input is coming and dendrites used to connect and send it to nucleus. So this is your processing unit, summing unit, right? So this is your nucleus corresponding to that, and this is your activation function. Generally activation function is been outside the summing point. So as what's the function of activation? That it used to suppress or refine our whatever the processing have been done. It refines, activation function refines that what does that particular output means from this, and accordingly give a meaningful output. So activation function is called axon, and accordingly synapse connecting output will be connected to the input of other dendrites. So this is the ANN versus biological model is been explained here, and in the further video we will be seeing what are the architectures of deep learning and what are the basic sub layers present in the deep learning model. So thank you.